Next one is R, reading. This is one of my favorites. I think it's one of David's favorites as well. Fill your brain up with knowledge. Books are very, very inexpensive. Probably could get them for free if you get a library card. There's really no reason to do that. And reading is kind of that power of what is it, David? Like in banking, where you stack interest, right?
Oh, compounding
interest. Right? That's what this is. So, like, let's say you read 2 chapters a day, and you do that for 365 days. That's a lot of chapters. You're going to have a stack of books at the end of the year. So, read a few chapters every morning. You're gonna stack it up. Oh, and pro tip, if you're not sure, if you just started listening to our podcast and you're not sure of kind of where to start, what books to read, David and I got together. We put all of our favorite books and the books that have made the most impact in our life into our Firing the Man library. You can see that at firingtheman.com /library, and we have I think 20 or 50 books in there. Just go in there and look, and any one of those are top choices. For me, I like to rotate between an actual physical book and audiobooks, depending if I'm driving, commuting, traveling, whatever. So just have your favorite book easily accessible, and just create that habit. It's huge. David, anything on reading?
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned audiobooks, because that's something that, it took me the first 25 years of my life. I thought if you want to read, you got to sit down and flip the pages. And, I don't know if I have adult ADHD or if I just have trouble sitting still for a long time, but man, one of my favorite things to do is throw on some headphones and put on an audiobook. And that's something that, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day, going to sit in a chair and read a book may not be something that you want to do. And so I've noticed and maybe I'm overthinking this, but I've noticed some people have a bit of shame about listening to an audiobook instead of reading it. I'll ask someone hey, have you read that book? And they'll be like, well, I listened to it. And it's it's the same information. It's exactly the same information. And if you process information better, through an audiobook, go that route. But I would say if you're tuning into this podcast, you most likely like podcasts. So audiobooks probably are a natural fit for you. And, Audible is fairly inexpensive. And, for probably 2 cups of coffee, you can pay for an Audible subscription. And, I would just get that recurring subscription. And so, a couple credits show up in your account every month, and that'll hold you accountable to, using them, right? And so, but yeah, this is something that I think is super powerful and probably one of my favorite pieces of S.A.V.E.R.S.
Yeah, absolutely. One quick thing to add before we go on. If you're like me, I did not start. I was not an avid reader until my mid-30s, and so if you are not an avid reader, you weren't raised around books or any of that stuff, just try it, give it a shot. Find topics that you're interested in, and just give it a shot.
And we're spending a lot of time on reading, and I got one more that I think is kind of a next level pro tip. I thought I was a pretty slow reader. It took me kind of a long time to get through the pages. And I watched, it's a 13-minute YouTube video, and we'll post it in the show notes, but it's by Tim Ferriss, and it's how to teach yourself how to speed read. And you take a ruler and you divide the page up into 3 different sections, and instead of reading individual words, you read blocks of words. And I know this sounds super complicated, but listen, if I can do it, anyone can do it. But I would say just watching that video and then practicing, I would say I probably had 20 to 30% efficiency gains in reading. And it's not that hard. You watch the video, get out a book and a ruler, and make the lines on the pages. And before you know it, you won't need to draw those guidelines. Your brain will just pick up on it. So if you think you're a slow reader, take 13 minutes, watch this video. It's definitely not going to set you back, for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I've never looked at that one.